All right, so today is a special day. Dude,
Earth Day.
Okay, it is Earth Day. Yes.
Earth Day,
I wasn't
bitch.
even thinking about Earth Day, honestly, because I feel like I've been trying to get you on my podcast for a long ass time.
Yes.
Like, I mentioned it years ago, and, you know, it's taken us a while to get to a place where we could be here together in a quiet place with, you know, like, two busy moms. Like,
definitely didn't see how it could be possible without doing so much mental gymnastics on childcare and being in like the right state of mind. But thankfully, co-parenting for the win. Very blessed to have, you know, good co-parenting I guess partner, right? I mean, we're not together, but we're both parents in this, so shout out to all the awesome co-parents out there trying to make it happen. Yes to us being our best so that we could be the best for our kids. Yes.
So this is Amy. Amy, do you want to tell us a little bit about who you are in your own words?
So Amy is an American name I got. I have a Korean name. Not really comfortable with sharing, only because I feel like it's really sacred and I'm not ready to have everyone calling me the name that my mom went and had like made for me, and in a place called Changmyeongso in Korea, where back in the 80s and like way before that too, they would go to a place to have their babies named. So Amy is a name. When I was going to Hoover Elementary in Compton, a teacher who was also Korean, she told me, why don't we give you an American name, because people are going to make fun of your name, they're not going to pronounce it correctly, the students or the teachers, so why don't we give you an American name? How about Amy? And so I have been Amy since 1986, 1987. So that is a name that I like, and I didn't even think about, you know, I love meanings behind things, but the name Amy, or the word Amy, means beloved. And one thing that a friend had pointed out one time was, even though I had a lot of abuse growing up, that one of the ways was people saying their incantation over me. They were calling me Amy, even though like I couldn't tell anybody what was going on at home. But the fact that people spoke that beloved, you know, they spoke that over me, that's what I was called all the time. You know, that's something that I thought was really beautiful, that she pointed out, that even though you were going through those hard times, people were saying that, you know, incantation over you, like protecting you, saying beloved. So I thought that was really cool. So I love the name Amy. I think it's a very I've been called Amy for so long that I don't know what else, you know. I'm an immigrant, proud immigrant from South Korea. I'm an ever-growing kid. I'm an ever-growing kid that had 5 kids of her own. I am a person with many stories. many stories. Also, I also go by Musa Mama. So Musa Mama, Musa means warrior in Korean. And Mama is like, you know, like mama. Or in the royal courts, they would say, yeah, Mama, which is like, yes, Your Highness. So Mama is another word for like Your Highness. So Warrior Highness.
I love that. Yep. I love that idea of Mama meaning royalty.
Yeah, like, Mama. Yep, Mama. So that would mean, that's like a moniker for Your Highness. Yes, Your Highness. Yes, Your Royalty. I am a birth worker. I'm very intent on how I practice my gifts for birth work. I am I'm a beast. I'm just kidding.
Yes.
But I am. I feel like my entire life, like starting from the beginning point, I've had to not fight in a bad way, but you know, like I've had to earn my, I guess, my spot as like a warrior in the family. You know, I was given a lot of battles since being born. Even before being born, my mom had to go through a lot of stuff too. But I've been given a lot of battles so that I can overcome them and genuinely feel emotions, not hide them, and to be a whole, full spectrum human being. So that is the life path I was given this life. And then as Danelia said, I'm a birth anarchist. Yeah. Yes.
Tell us again, what is it?
A birth anarchist. So you said, because I do not work with everyone, I am not for everyone. I am for people who really just need that reminder to tap in and know that they are not the sum of their abuse, their trauma, and everything else that has happened that they've had to survive, that they are not that, and that, like, seriously, sincerely, we are such freaking badasses. Like, we birth human beings. Like, that is crazy. We keep lineages going. And I just am here to remind moms that I'm not the only warrior. Like all moms, all of our ancestors are warriors because they've gone through attempts at colonization, you know, so much pain, and they've been able to just be badasses through all of that. So what other choice do I have than to carry that on? You know, like, how can I taint that legacy of just being a badass? Like, when you just have so much shit thrown in front of you all the time, this life that we live, and we're trying to live as decent human beings.
Yes. I love you.
I love you too, friend. And drink water. Hydrate everyone.
I think this is a perfect moment to go back to, like, what I was saying about why today is such a special day, because just having you here, bringing all of that with you, all of that passion and love and wisdom and knowledge, like ancestral, it exceeds like the physical realm. We're talking about ancestral, you know, parts of you that you're bringing to this very moment. It's such a special day for me to welcome you to this place, to talk with me, and like in person. You know, I've been doing so many of these virtually, but it's really special to do this in person. It's special to share you with everyone else because I love you so much. I think you know, I sing your praises. You're one of my closest friends, my sister. You have been with me through everything, and I am so grateful for your friendship and your love, and to be able to share your spectacular journey and your life, your existence with people that listen to this podcast. Like, it's really special, dude. So yes, it is Earth Day, but it's also like such a special day because you're sharing. Earth. We are the Earth, and we are keeping it going. You know, we're keeping it going, and by sharing your story as well, Amy, I'm so excited for people to hear more about you and what you've been through and how it's made you who you fucking are, because you're such a fucking badass, dude, and I love it. And yeah, so thank you for being here and sharing all of that with us. So today we mutually agreed to talk about the concept of imposter syndrome and how it impacts us in our lives. I'm really curious to know for you what that's like, and what your experience has been like with imposter syndrome. And what, actually, maybe you can start us off with, like, what does that mean to you?
Imposter syndrome, I think a lot of us feel, especially those of us, immigrants, indigenous folks, people of color, the global majority, is that we're in a space that we don't belong, right? Like, we're trying to figure out if we belong somewhere. Do I really belong here? Like, am I meeting the requirements to belong here? Are they gonna find out that I don't belong here, right? That's the whole imposter syndrome thing of like, fuck, what if they find out that I'm still like learning about this shit and I don't really know, and like, but I gotta have the confidence. So that's what it is, and we all have that imposter syndrome. We all, I mean, we weren't born knowing everything, like, and as moms, right, when the first time we go into labor, unless you've been in labor, you just don't know. You just don't know what to expect, what's going on. You just have no idea. So that's us as human beings. We all have imposter syndrome. We all are trying to figure out who we are in this world. Where do we fit in? I think a lot of times that gets influenced by family, in ways where were we supported, or were we forced into maybe doing something, working something, studying something that we really didn't want to for the sake of bettering our family, right? Like furthering our family. I think a lot of us now who feel the imposter syndrome, we are the generation that actually have the luxury to prioritize our mental health, to prioritize self-care, and to prioritize filling our own cups. I think we are, like, we have serious imposter syndrome because we know that that's not what our parents, our ancestors had. Like, our ancestors were all working their asses off, trying not to get killed by folks who are trying to take your land, take your resources. And now we're starting to get to a point, at least in this country, where we look at it genuinely, like who we are, how we relate to our own selves, our family, and to the world. So yeah, in a lot of words, imposter syndrome is basically a part of figuring out who you are in the world.
Yeah. Yeah, and I do think we all experience it, you know. But it is very much informed by this concept that we should know what we're doing. You mentioned that in the beginning, you know, and it's like, no, we really are just figuring it out. And what if we normalize that? What if we didn't pressure ourselves or our children, right? It starts in childhood, really, because first you're a child and then you're not anymore. You have responsibilities, you have things you need to do, you have people you need to take care of, you have, you know, like, you start getting responsibilities. And I feel like for a lot of us, there's no transition time. It's not a gentle transition. It's like overnight. You turn a certain age and they say, okay, come on, you got to start being an adult. You got to start doing things a certain way. And it's for me, in my experience, like, I feel like that it definitely informs my when I experience imposter syndrome, you know. It's like, and I have to ask myself, like, I have to stop and be intentional about, like, okay, wait, it's coming up for me again. What is it that's making me feel inadequate? What is it that's making me doubt myself and say, ooh, somebody's gonna find out that I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about, or they're gonna know that, I don't know. I mean, it could be anything, right? It's like, who am I to host this podcast? You know, who am I to have this mic and share these things publicly? But it's like, no, when we are called, when we have a passion, when we have a fire that burns in our bodies, you know that feeling when you just like, something just fucking lights you up and you're just like, ooh, like it's like a tingle, you know? It's like, that is your spirit. Mm-hmm. That is our spirit calling to say, hey, bitch, listen up. This is what you need to do. Mm. And so I'm trying to rewire my brain to approach that, like in those moments of doubt, you know, of like I have to, it's like a battle, you know, I have to battle those thoughts with something bigger. Like, no, whatever everyone else thinks I should be doing is not important. That fire that burns inside of me when I get excited about shit that I'm gonna be doing or creating or talking about or just having these moments of presence with people I love, that is, to me, like how I can conquer imposter syndrome.
Another element to the imposter syndrome, like we were talking about, is our family. And for myself, being 1.5 generation, meaning like I was born in Korea, also raised there as well, but raised here during my formative years. But
wait, so you say you're 1.5?
Yeah, 1.5
generation.
Yeah, because I'm not Korean.
Oh,
yeah, I'm Korean. Yeah, I don't like. I was born in Korea. I immigrated as a Korean person. So I see myself as a Korean immigrant. It's just my English. I'm just kidding. Yeah, a lot of times my the way I speak English, it throws everyone off, and of course I get the comment of, but your English is so good. Oh my god.
Somebody says,
like there's no, you don't have an accent. I'm like, well, you know, I speak two other languages too, so I don't know, like maybe it's harder for somebody who is monolingual and your tongue has not had enough flexibility to stretch into different enunciations and pronunciations. But that's another imposter syndrome thing, right? So people thinking, you know, I'm expecting to have people look at me as someone who automatically like doesn't know English or speak English or knows the culture, because I'm an imposter. Like as an Asian person, like I'm always a foreigner here in this country. I am a foreigner, but I've lived in this country longer than I've lived in Korea. So just to get that straight. Yeah, so I having imposter syndrome as an Asian person, I think like it goes many different ways too. Like I'm not really seen as legit unless I'm a doctor, unless I'm an accountant, unless I'm a lawyer. So here we go again with the imposter syndrome. Like I did not become those things. I had no desire. Actually, I'm lying. In high school, I thought I was gonna go study law at Harvard. Like I thought I was going to be a lawyer. I was like, I'm going to go to Harvard and go study law. And then I was like, no, I'm going to join the Marines and go have a career in the armed forces. And then things happen in life, like reuniting with my mom after 14 years and moving back to California. So yeah, so many elements in what shapes our viewpoint of our own selves and how we see that we fit into society and into the rest of the world.
Yeah.
Oh, imposter syndrome. God.
It's a bitch, dude.
It's a bitch and it's everywhere.
It's everywhere. It's in everything. It's in everything. Anything can have an element to it. Yeah. But that's what I'm saying. Like that heaviness of it can feel so tiresome, you know? And that's why like I really want to know like how do you fight it? You know, where do you put your energy into? What do you put your energy into?
I put my energy into but fine tuning on just being myself. Because I literally, bitch, I got energy. I got 5 kids. I homeschool. Like I do all kinds of shit. I don't have the energy. I just want to be myself, and I think that may be the reason why I had imposter syndrome as a birth worker because I am a very rebellious person, like, period. Like, I literally believe that birth is physiological. Like, you can't, like, I know that, like, in every cell of my body. Like, I'm not just saying it. I'm not just saying I trust the body, I trust the process. Like, bitch, I really know that this is how shit works. Like, if you just let the body do its thing. So I think because I didn't know how to encapsulate that and make it look Pinterest worthy, or, you know, like, have that Instagram aesthetic of the filters. Like, I didn't know how to filter that shit out, bitch. Like, I'm going to just concentrate on me being me. And what I've noticed is that the people who stick by me are also similar that way, that they are just being themselves, and they'll laugh at themselves, they'll laugh out loud about shit, like, don't think twice about fucking farting and being like, oh shit, sorry, you know, pick a booger, hit my pen real quick, you know. So yeah, I think that's how I stay on my A game, is trying to be as genuinely myself as possible. It's just, I feel like I'm having the imposter syndrome of how do I package it so that it's palatable for everyone, but then here we go on this, like, loop of I'm not palatable for everyone, and that's okay.
Yes.
It's okay. It's okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I think if there's anything you've taught me, Amy, over the years, it's that, like, I don't know if you realize that by being yourself, just in your everyday life, like, you give other people permission to be themselves. Like, I feel like I can be myself because I see you being yourself, you know? And what I mean by that is, like, tell us, well, you tell me, like, who are you? Who is it? What is it about you that you feel like might not be for everyone, or maybe is too much for people, you know? Because to me, like, that's the shit I love about you, you know? But I want the people to know, like, you know, if for folks who don't know you, like, what does that mean? What does that look like?
You know how you get told that you're too much, you're too loud, you're too this. Like, I've heard that pretty much my entire life. I've just been very intense and passionate my entire life.
What are your signs?
I am a Leo stellium, meaning my rising, my moon, and my sun, and my Venus is all in Leo.
Oh my gosh.
But funny enough, I'm a water dog in Asian astrology, which is very fitting. I'm a very delicate morning dew yin water. So there's I am vastly a full spectrum of myself, usually at all times of my existence.
Yes. Okay, can I go, like, real here? Like, can I share some of the stuff we've been through together?
Oh yeah. Yeah. Share some fucking stories.
We don't have too much time to share too many, but, like,
that's some juicy, sure.
I don't know. I just feel like whenever I'm with you, like, you say what's on your heart and what's on your mind, and, like, I love that about you. You know, you don't, like you said, you don't filter shit out. You let your true feelings show, and I think it does make people uncomfortable sometimes, but it's only because people aren't comfortable with emotion, with feeling. And I have the same experience where I'm very expressive when I'm comfortable. Yeah. When I'm not comfortable, I shut down. I'm just like, I can't be myself here, so I'm just gonna be a blob. But when I'm around people that I do feel like I can be myself. I'm loud, I'm, I would even say sometimes annoying. Like, sometimes the cadence of my voice and the sound of my voice can be fucking annoying, but I don't fucking care because
I don't feel that way, but okay.
I'm just saying,
yeah,
like...
I can see that because I could see how people can think that about me. So I get it.
But I've learned to embrace it because I'm like... It's those moments that I'm in my joy. When my voice hits a frequency that is like borderline like unnerving, it's because I'm fucking happy, dude. It's because I'm like, you know, and I fucking love it up there.
It's like it's an endorphin rush. You know? Like we're releasing chemicals. And you know, one thing I do want to go back and touch on, that not having filters doesn't mean I'm not being mindful. Like it means that I am mindful, but I am trying to give the most authentic version of myself, you know, while being mindful, you know. So just want to clarify that not having filters doesn't mean I act like a douchebag.
Right. I think that's a really good distinction to make, because I think that term may have gotten that connotation, right? Of like, oh, someone who's unfiltered is like just a dick and they say whatever the fuck they want. I'm not insinuating that at all. I think it's more like unfiltered in the sense of like Instagram. Like you're not trying to prettify things. You're not trying to like, you know, like you're not like fake, you know? You're fucking real, dude. Like, to just keep it real, like you're a fucking real ass person and you keep it real all the time. So that's what I mean, is like, you're not gonna bullshit someone, you know?
And then here I go while she's saying that, here I go into my mind of like, what about all the times that I wasn't like acting myself, that I did shrink and didn't like, you know, or whatever. But yeah, I that's what I hope to, you know, be about myself. But also I want, like, one thing is, unless like I'm seeing you do something that's literally not cool and I will have to like attack you physically, unless it's that, I will be very mindful about allowing people to be who they are. I don't want them to feel uncomfortable that, you know, like I have certain tics. Like when I get nervous, I pull out my fucking hair. It's called trichotillomania. You know, it's like a legit like disorder that I fought. Like, look at how long my hair is, but then I have trichotillomania. I pull out my hair because that's how I self-regulate. Like, I don't want to be judged for that or thought of as somebody who is not as dignified, you know? So everyone deserves dignity. Every single human being deserves dignity, and I want to come with that respect for people. I want to come with that respect for people and let them know, hey, like, I honor you, I see you, like, you're good, you're good. Like they say namaste, right? Namaste is the God in me sees a God in you, and that's everyone. Like, everyone fucking is deserving of that. Every single person, because unless we can come at it from that standpoint, like, how are we gonna see where we all are at, you know? Like, we're gonna always have this fucking imposter syndrome if we don't allow people to be seen the way they are and to truly accept it. And, you know, like, we're gonna always have this imposter syndrome. So, you know, my life, I feel like it hasn't, we all feel like we, you know, unless we're validated, right, by accolades or by recognition, like, we don't feel like we've succeeded. And so a lot of us have that imposter syndrome of like, okay, since I didn't succeed, what I do doesn't really matter. But that's like, I know that that's not true. I know that that's not true. But, you know, just because I may look like this, I'm not always like this. I also fight demons a lot. I fight my own demons a lot. There are days that I do not come out of my house if I don't have to. There are days that I get held by my bed for most of the day. I mean, chronic pain, still recovering from a heart attack and stroke 3 years ago, and realizing that my physical self is not what it used to be. Like, I can get into some dark ass spots. Dark. But I'm not in that despair of when I used to be suicidal when I was much younger, like actually acting on it too, whether it's cutting myself, taking, like trying to overdose. Yeah. I'm like, I apologize. I'm kind of losing my train of thought, but I'm just giving myself some grace to look at that younger self, and let her know that it was okay. Like, it's all a part of learning. It's okay. This is your story. This is your story. It's okay. Like, you don't have to hold on to the shame. It's okay. It's okay.
Let's actually blanket pass.
Yeah, no, this is perfect because
that in a little bit.
Yeah, I'm actually feeling my body settle. Like, I just got like a little bit of like my nerve settling, so I feel like that's one less layer that I have on myself of shame from that time. Yeah,
that's
we
really
don't
powerful.
we don't give ourselves we don't get to take that pause, or like maybe we do. It's just when we're in settings like this, we're expected to just like be machines where we just talk and know all the right answers or know what to say. But yeah, no,
we don't have to.
Yeah, that I still have a lot of work in terms of even connecting with the younger me that was hurt. Like, I usually only have tapped into that as an adult via mushrooms. Yeah, mushrooms help me discover me, kids. Just to let you know.
I love what we're hearing here, because I think you're giving us a chance to hear what it feels like to actually be in your mind going through this, what imposter syndrome can look like, and then how you transformed it into compassion for your past self. Like, you let us see that thought process, that stream of consciousness. That's so valuable for us all to witness. Thank you for letting us see that.
Yeah. The one of the stories that I tell people now that like I find as like, oh shit, that I didn't really think of anything back then, was the attempted murder suicide hostage situation that I was in with my father when I was 13. I was in a situation where my father, he never held a job. He just was a gambling addict. Had multiple wives, multiple kids, one of them ran away, the women. And at this point, we were living in an apartment in Gardena, and the lease, he was able to get in by using one of his friends' IDs, so it wasn't even like we couldn't even be ourselves. And he was just like over it, like, his girlfriend at the time, she left because she was over his shit, and he was just tired, I guess. And he's somebody who survived a suicide attempt where he shot himself back in like late 70s, like basically right before I was born. And So one night, you know, I think it was on a school night even, I remember him just like telling me to come into his room, and once I got in, he shut the door, he locked it. It was dark in the room, and he told me, I can't go on anymore. I got a gun, so I'm gonna shoot you and I'm gonna shoot myself. And so at that point, as a 13-year-old girl, who's had to be like very mature for her age for most of her life, like I had to tap in. I had to tap into that compassion, you know, for somebody who doesn't want to be compassionate. So I've like that. I would say that that's probably a situation or story that really like defines like who I am or what I'm made out of. Is that even in the midst of like a crazy ass situation like that, I can see the humanness, you know. I can see the hurt. Like I saw the hurt, and what I think connected him, you know, this is like me standing in a dark room, not being able to see my father, not knowing where the gun was. I don't know if he has a gun. I don't know if he's pointing it at me. I don't fucking know, but this man has a gun, and he told me what he was thinking about doing. And all I could do at the time, like I couldn't even think, but I just connected with him. I told him, I know it's hard. I know you're having a hard time. Yes. You know, I even went so far as to like talking about my own mom, you know, because he was like, you know, your mom left, and my mom had to run away from him to survive. She had to put me into Korea with her family and run away herself so that we could both be alive. And here I am telling my father, who was like on a total like suicide trip, like he is just wanting to end everything, and I'm telling him, no, she left both of us. She didn't just leave you. She left both of us. So I know that that's one of my strengths as a person, is to see through the bullshit and just connect with the person. Like if they allow me to, right? If they allow themselves, if they allow me to see a part of that, you know, I think that's a gift that I bring, and that's who I am. And I think that kind of, you know, it's like cliche, but not really, but that's who I am as a being, is that even in the fucking chaos, like I'm gonna see you for who you are, and I want to connect with you. Like I really want to connect with you. Like I don't give a fuck about it. Yeah, nice things are cool too, but like I want to connect with you. And I think maybe because like I've had to see things like that, I don't have time for bullshit. Like I've seen some shit, you know. I've seen some shit, been through some shit, so I just want to get to the good shit. Like I don't want to fucking, like, courtship is cool too. Courtship is cool, but I want to get to the good stuff. Like life is not, we're not fucking guaranteed tomorrow, everyone. We're not guaranteed to fucking wake up. We're not guaranteed to be able to make it home, you know, tonight. We're not guaranteed any of this shit. Like this is a service that I can do as a human being, is to just be myself and allow you to be yourself, so that we can get home. We can all get home with goodness on our hearts. Like we could just be a better person when we go back home to wherever the fuck we came from. You know, that's what my essence is. I don't know how to fucking monetize it, you know, but I've been hustling. I do all kinds of shit. So whatever I've done, I think I make sure that element is put in to my work. Like, bitch, it's me. It is me.
It is, Amy. It is. We see it.
Yeah.
We see it. I see it, and I feel it, and I think that your essence is so unique, and it's so beautiful, and it's so like uncontainable.
I like that. I like that. Because that's so true.
We can't contain your essence, and that's why I'm so drawn to it, you know? Because you give me the freedom to be uncontainable too, you know? To just let myself just be who I am.
If we contain ourselves and we're all in our little boxes of containment, then how can we really reach in and like blend in,
right,
you know?
Right.
And like
connect,
mingle,
connect and make heartfelt connections.
Yeah.
Real,
like,
yeah,
we're just stuck if we just like, you know, do this.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, this is fine for self-regulating, but like to try to reach out, you know.
Just for clarity, she's putting her arms at her chest, like,
and I'm waddling like a cute little penguin.
Or like a butterfly hug, right?
Yes,
where you like
butterfly
tap
hug.
your chest and kind of like self-regulate. But but sometimes we need to connect with other people too. You know, we need to that co-regulation, and I feel like we definitely do that for each other.
Yeah,
you know?
I would say definitely.
And I think this episode is going to be a tool for people to self and co-regulate with us through those feelings of imposter syndrome. You know, because I think we're able to see like where we all have it, but the fact that we really do possess gifts of our own to combat that. Like the key to combating imposter syndrome is, even though we will deal with it for the rest of our lives most likely because of all the years it took to accumulate all of this, like these thought processes, right? This perception of what we should be doing, and that our true essence and our true nature is going against that, is to like do it anyway.
Yeah, because we're all gonna fucking do whatever the fuck we want.
Why fight it, right?
Yeah.
Why live a life fighting doing something you don't really want to do when you can just fucking give into it?
Yeah.
Make it easier, give into it. It's gonna be fucking hard. Like, I think we're all trying to figure out how do we monetize it? How do we tap into our gifts and get paid well, you know? And that comes. It's coming. I feel it coming. This is the first step for me though. It's connecting heart to heart and having difficult but meaningful conversations that transform the way that we experience that moving forward. You know? So, thank you. Thank you for sharing.
Thank you. Thanks for letting my mind go everywhere that it wanted to.
It's such an honor to witness, honestly. It's such an honor to witness.
Thank you for seeing it that way.
Yes. It's wonderful.
Welcome to my world.
So before we close up, there's a couple of things I wanted to ask you. The first one is a question I ask everybody on this podcast, which is, how do you embody your highest self?
How do I embody my highest self? Like my highest self, like my highest vibrating self, like my
Whatever
truest being self.
Yes, whatever that means to you.
Okay, so what was the question again? It's so simple, but it's not. Okay.
How do you embody that?
How do I embody that?
For people who don't know you or don't know you yet.
Okay, so
Give them a little flavor.
I feel like right now what I should be embodying for my highest self, what I should be embodying is self-discipline. Like, I'm lacking that a lot. And it's not a bad thing, right? Because self-discipline is an action. It's an action to a betterment of yourself. So I embody myself at the highest point of myself when I am doing the work, when I am putting in the work on becoming a better version of myself. That's when. So it's never ending, because I'm forever going to be trying to be a better version of myself at every moment. I mean, I will take a million steps backwards too sometimes, but that is my highest self. That's where I embody it, is in my my actual action of bettering myself.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that.
Sorry.
Wow.
such a different answer, huh?
No, it's different for everyone, honestly, and I know it does kind of catch you off guard a little bit, but it really forces us to think, like, yeah, how do we show up in the world, you know? How do we show up in the world, and how do we show up as the best parts of ourselves, you know? But for a lot of us, I think it's even hard to even know where that is, because so many of us are stuck under, like, not thinking we're very good, you know, like self-hatred, essentially, self-loathing. At least for me, that was a big part of my journey, you know. It's like having to come up from that to be able to even see that I have a highest self. Who is that? Where is she? What does she look like? What does she do? What does she, you know? And really, I feel like that person is who I bring to this podcast. That person is who I allow to people to hear me, you know, engage with others here. And I feel that with you. I feel like you brought your highest self to our conversation today, which is really special.
Not because I was hitting my pan during it, but you know, I wasn't that high.
Yeah.
I've been very, very out of this world many a times, but this is pretty much like, I don't want to say basic because I'm never basic, but this is Amy.
Mellow.
Yeah, this is Amy. I don't know. When you meet me, you'll get it.
All right, so tell people where they can like find you, connect with you, you know, so they can meet you and get to experience your magic.
Yeah. Reminder, if you guys have water bottles next to you, grab that bitch. Drink some water. Just a reminder, because I'm drinking water right now.
Let's definitely hydrate.
So, where you can find me, I'm most active on my Instagram account, which is Musa, MUSA _ Mama, Musa Mama. You will see a awesome caricature of me when I used to have my purple hair. So if you see a super cute caricature of me with purple hair, that's me. And I will be starting, oh my god, I'm actually saying it on here, so I can't go back from it. Okay. Oh my god, I'm nervous. Okay. So I am starting my own podcast finally, and it's called Delinquent Asians, and it's all about amazing, badass AAPI folks who basically didn't end up a lawyer, doctor, attorney, engineer, architect, accountant, basically all the ones that our parents wanted us to be in, to be doing, you know, to be a good kid who isn't bringing dishonor to the family. So yes, so I will be starting that, and hopefully you guys can tune in too, because I'm gonna have some freaking amazing stories for you guys from amazing folks who are absolutely not your model minority.
I love it. So what is it called?
Delinquent Asians.
Yes.
But it's we're not excluding our Pacific Islander brothers and sisters. Just it was for basically the namesake of putting it on Instagram and for the title of it, but it's Delinquent Asians.
Love. All right, so check that out. Keep an eye out. We'll be sharing that as well.
Coming soon.
Yes. And connect with Amy. She's definitely somebody that you want to stay in community with. So connect with her on Instagram. Check out all of her offerings. She's always doing something.
Oh God.
So Just got to keep up with her.
Yeah.
You got to just turn your notifications on so you don't miss anything.
And it's like, and it's super limited edition because it's all based on like how much like physical energy I have to do these things. So I will slowly be doing less of the physical stuff and doing more like online. So if I offer anything, snatch that shit up.
Yes.
Because
you don't know when it's gonna be back.
Yeah, you have no idea when it's gonna be back. Plus, I know my magic that goes into whatever I make. Like bitch, it's all of me, but in product form. You got it?
In a bottle.
In a bottle,
a
bitch.
little bottle.
Yeah. A little 4-ounce jar. Just like me.
I love it.
Small, but fuck your ass up. Just kidding.
All right. Thank you so much, Amy.
Oh,
this is so fun.
Thank you.
This is so fun.
Oh.